It's a bright Tuesday, and thank you for joining us again on Abuja File today, where we bring comprehensive reports of happenings at the seat of power. I am Vina Peters. We'll dive into today's key developments, starting with a significant directive from the Federal Executive Council, FEC. In a move aimed at bolstering local economic activities, the FEC has instructed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, to commence the sale of crude oil to Dangote Refinery and other local refineries in Naira rather than US dollars. This announcement was made by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Chief Zach Adedeji, following a high-level meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu. Take a listen.
Today at Federal Executive Council meeting, there was a memo prepared by Mr. President, which is to promote the trade of crude oil within local refineries and Nigeria Petroleum Company, which is NNPC, to deal in our local currency. In attitude of Mr. President to actually think out of box to solve a Nigeria problem and actually to localize the solution to Nigeria problem. He has approved through the council that effective immediately that NNPC get engaged with local refineries, and we are starting that with Dangote Refinery, that the sales of crude oil to Dangote Refinery be denominated in Naira, and also the sales of refined products from Dangote Refinery to marketer and distributors also should be conducted in Naira. And what does this mean to our economy? One, the pressure on foreign exchange rate today will be reduced. Today, you may be aware that we spend roughly 30 to 40% of our foreign exchange today on importation of PMS that we consume. And in monetary terms, monthly, we spend roughly $660 million in these exercise. And if you annualize that, that one will give us $7.92 billion pressure that we have. With this approval today through FEC, led by Mr. President, this has reduced by minimum of 90%, because what you have today will be this transaction is now done in our local currency, not only with Dangote Refinery, for all local refineries, for all our local consumption. And this one will actually stabilize the price, pump price. This one also will make the economic predictability a reality, because we will no longer rely on the fluctuation that happens in Forex. This is an innovation to solving our problem as a country today. Just to be specific and just read part of the benefit to the media. Number one, which is major out of it, is the reduction in foreign exchange pressure. As the existing process that we have today, we utilize $660 million per month, totaling $7.9 billion annually. With the new approval that we have now, this will reduce to minimum, to the maximum of $50 million per month, which is annualized, will be only $600 million. This is total reduction of 94%, and in term, this is saving of $7.32 billion. This will also reduce finance cost, which today stands at $79 million when you consider opening of the letter of credit between those local refineries and what happened today. And also, as a pilot, the council has approved that a settlement bank, which in this instance is Afri-Exim, should be the lead arranger. That will be the settlement bank, at least today, between NNPC and Dangote Refinery. So this is a major innovation in solving Nigeria problem permanently. Not only that we will have more employment, and we will definitely now be in charge of one of the mainstays of our economy as a country. So I congratulate the council member, congratulate Mr. President, and also congratulate the operators, both the NNPC, Dangote Refinery, and also the lead arranger, because the kudos should go to the president of Afri-Exim Bank, Professor Orama, for this initiative, because these are the people that work behind the scene to make sure that what we witnessed today happened. So once again, I thank you, and I will open for questions in case there are other clarifications, because one of the major directives of Mr. President and the Council in general is that Afri-Exim lead the advisory work of structuring and arranging this initiative with the Associated Trade Finance Facility in collaboration with Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited, and Federal Ministry of Finance and other critical agencies. Hello. Just to correct impression, when they say Chairman FRS, when I'm here, I'm special advisor to the President on revenue. So it has to do with revenue, because I don't want conflict why people think about that. So thank you, my brother. For your first question is on the fact that this thing that we're doing, there are impressions in some quarters that federal governments or some agents of government are not supporting Dangote and stuff. This is far from it. First of all, you remember that one of the cardinal points of this government is to provide conducive environment for all businesses, including Dangote Refinery. So it's not about that. Also, don't forget that these are regulatory agencies that have their laws, and then they have their right to check whether on quality on anything. So this has nothing to do with that. As you know, Mr. President would not intervene in mandate of either the business or that of a regulatory agency. So this has nothing to do with that. And I can confirm to you that if there is anything that we are doing everything to remove hurdles and obstacles, as you can confirm from many executive orders that Mr. President has assented to, just to remove problems from business environment, whether from tax suspension, whether from executive order on oil and gas. And this is part, like if you listen to my opening remarks, that we are looking for local solution, innovation to permanently solve our problem. Today, we are not doing anything new. Today, that's what I said. The current scenario is that Dangote and NNPC are in transaction. But what do? Dangote will open letter of credit just to procure crude oil from NNPC. And NNPC will also open letter of credit to purchase PMS or refinery refined product from Dangote Refinery. And both of them, NNPC will sell in Naira. This is mismatch. And you know dollar is not our currency. So when you open letter of credit, apart from finance fee that you pay to all these foreign banks that you need to go to foreign markets. It's like me and my brother want to transact here in Nigeria, and we open bank accounts in New York. I will go and look for dollar to pay to New York bank. My brother will go and look for dollar to pay to New York bank for the product that we exchange at our backyard. So Mr. President says this is not economical. And I just explained that this puts 30% pressure on our foreign exchange. That's one. Two, our focus as a country, as everybody, even basic economics, say that when you export raw material, you collect less. Because if I just put a hypothetical example, if your crude is 1 naira, definitely refined product with 1 naira 30 kobo. But if you continue to export your crude at 1 naira and you are importing it at 1 naira 30 kobo, you can never be balanced. Mr. President, in his wisdom, is ready to put hand to this, that we need to add value to what we are producing as a country. So the starting point, and if you follow my presentation, I said we are piloting with local consumption. So it is the normal thing that Dangote Refinery is doing. For 650 barrel per day capacity, it requires more than 15 cargoes, possibly in a month. But we are restricting this pilot scheme to our local consumption that we've estimated today they are spending roughly $660 million to get this transaction done. When we, by God's grace, complete this, we will be spending less than $50 million a month in this transaction. Because what will happen is that since Dangote will place order in Naira for crude, and we will procure refined petroleum in Naira, so they can net off. It's only balancing that we'll be paying ourselves at the end of the month. So this one will improve the business environment. There will be stability. And the second question is that can NNPC meet Dangote requirement? NNPC does not need to meet Dangote requirement. Also, don't forget that it's not only NNPC Nigeria that is selling crude. We have IOCs, and it is free buyer, free seller. So Dangote can procure crude input feed from anywhere in the world. We are just saying for this our local consumption. That's why we are piloting this. Another question is about domestic. Are we subsidized? No, you know that crude oil has a global price, market price. And it's the same thing that we are doing. And you know today that anything you want to do in Nigeria, you use the really exchange rate, and the same thing we are going to do. So we are not subsidizing anything, and we will not subsidize anything. This is normal transaction. We are just changing the dynamics and the currency. And then the market rate as to sales of crude and everything, like I've just explained that's what we are doing. So we are just bringing innovation to our business development, and also looking forward that it is our hope that we will turn Nigeria to be a refining hub, given the fact that in the Gulf of Guinea, today we have more than 5 million per day crude production. It does not make sense for us that we exporting this crude and we import refined products. If by God's grace, with this innovation, that we will start refining, and when we do well on this, all other capacity that we have. So our focus is to make sure that we refine most of what we produce in Gulf of Guinea here in the country, and that one will lead to multiplier effect in our banking system, in our port operation, in shipping line, and all other associated economic multiplying effect that this will have for us. So for us, it is an innovation, and we are hopeful and optimistic that this will solve our problem, not only in oil and gas sector, but also stabilize our economic condition as a country.
In another pivotal decision, President Bola Tinubu has signed the Minimum Act bill into law. This landmark decision took place during the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja, further shaping Nigeria's legislative landscape.
This is indeed a very important occasion, very historic one, and a very significant one, particularly at this time. Nigerian workers are getting a huge boost compared to what was there before. And I can assure that in terms of implementation, every effort will be made to ensure that there is speedy and full implementation of this new all-important Minimum Wage Act, definitely at the federal level, but also we will encourage that this is a national minimum wage to be implemented across the society. The federal, the state, the local governments, and the private sector. So let us all follow the example of Mr. President of the National Assembly and do what is right by the workers of Nigeria.
I couldn't have come at a better time than today. Now, the president has indicated that every assignment for everything assigned to welcome you and perform the signing ceremony which we have just witnessed. By the signing of this bill into law, the welfare of Nigerian workers has been more than enhanced by, I think, more than 100 or 200%. We are grateful for this, and we also urge you that the budget, which will also fund it, please help us pass it as expeditiously as we are working on this one. Thank you very much.
This is just one more action from the president to show that he cares about the Nigerian people. In addition to signing the Northeast Development Commission Act, the Northwest Development Commission Act, the Southeast Development Commission Act. This has never happened in Nigeria. So I think this movement from 30 to 70 and reducing the negotiation years is clear demonstration of a commitment to redirect, refocus, and reposition Nigeria for greatness.
The National Minimum Wage Amendment is for the whole nation, for the federal government, for the states, for the local governments, for the private sector, and even for individual employers. So I think this is a great day for the workers in the country. We are not only doubling the minimum wage, we have added something on top. Initially it was 30,000, now it is 70,000. Like I said, this is minimum. This is not maximum. Any employer that has the capacity can pay as much as you want, but no Nigerian worker will offer services and be paid anything less than 70,000 from today. That is the implication of this act. It applies all over the nation. And we're excited that this is happening at a time like this, through President Bola Tinubu, a man who cares for the Nigerian workers. And you've seen what we are doing in the National Assembly. When he came, the entirety of the National Assembly moved and passed the bill in one day out of excitement. We felt that this was not something we could delay. So I think the workers are happy. So I want to use this opportunity to call on those who are attempting to foment trouble, that you have a right to protest. It's your fundamental right. It is there in the Constitution, but you don't have a right to destabilize the country. A right to protest should not be turned into a right to unleash violence. It's very clear that people who are already, it's already very amorphous, very faceless. So what it means is that people are preparing to loot and go around and do all sorts of things. Where we are today was not caused by 1 year's administration. It is the outcome of years of insecurity. Many people could not go to farms for almost 10 years and all that, and the president has risen to the occasion. Every food item that is coming in now will come in without anything like a restriction. There's no restriction. Bring in food because Nigerians need to eat. And then at the same time, most things are coming in with a lot of waivers. So for me, I'm excited that yes, indeed, the government is doing what it should. And we, the leaders in the National Assembly, we are touching our various constituencies. So my appeal to the Nigerian youth is do not allow any group to mislead you politically. People who probably did not have their fortunes in 2023 election are thinking they can come through the back door. That will amount to anarchy. Any destruction of any property will cost Nigeria money, and we don't have the money. Instead, let's put the money in developing you and developing your environment instead of going to rebuild. So kudos to the Nigerian workers. And I'm excited and I congratulate Nigeria, I congratulate the President and the National Assembly for the expeditious passage of this bill.
Amid ongoing public protests, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to addressing the protesters' demands. Minister of Information Mohammed Idris provided an update assuring that concerns ranging from food security to youth employment are being actively addressed.
Protest. Yes, it was discussed, And the position of the Federal Executive Council is that most of the demands that the protesters are making are actually being addressed by the federal government. And therefore, it is the view of government that there is really no need for the protest again, because most of those things that the protesters are putting forward are already actually either have been addressed or are being addressed by government. And like we have said repeatedly, this is a listening government. The president has listened to the voices of all those who are planning this protest. And the message is that there is no need for it. Indeed, the president is already protesting on their behalf by doing those things that they want government to do. For example, the effort that government is making in ensuring that food is being made available. In the last council meeting here at the briefing, we announced that a number of trucks, 20 precisely, have been given to the state governors for onward distribution to those who are actually in need of them, the poorest of the poor in the society, and those who are actually in need. But government did not all stop there. There is also rice that is being sold at about 50% of its cost. A bag of rice is being sold as we speak now. This rice have been taken to various centers across all the states of the Federation and is being sold at 40,000 Naira. Centers have been created so that those who need this rice can go there and buy this rice at 40,000 Naira. In the first instance, about 10 trucks are being made available to each of these states. And indeed, this is just the beginning. I know that some of the comments you hear is that it is never enough. Government has not pretended that these supplies are indeed enough, but these are necessary first steps that are being made, and more of such interventions are being made in the interim. Of course, this is, like I said, an interim measure because there is so much investment that is going into the agricultural sector, and the rainy season is here. We expect that the prices of food items will come down as investments are also being made, not just for the traditional rain-fed agricultural produce, but also for the irrigation activities in many of the states in the Federation. So we expect that as we move forward, prices of food items, commodities will, of course, come down. These are part of the measures, and the President feels, and the Federal Executive Council believes that already some of the youth that want to protest, some of the answers that they are looking for are already actually being provided. For example, only recently, the federal government has begun the disbursement of the students' loans. There's a provision already of over 2 million for over 2 million students. Only about 110,000 applications have thus far been received in the last, as at last week. Of course, more are going to come. So there is adequate provision for all those who are qualified, who can access these loans, and who have fulfilled these conditions. The desire of Mr. President is that no student, no young person that has gained admission into any of our tertiary institutions will be left out because his parents or his guardian is unable to pay for his fees. But beyond that, there is also the provision that is being made for these young people. You are aware of the effort that is being made to ensure that about 3 million of them are being put into employment through the MTT program. There is also, for the general public, a reduction that is envisaged by the time the CNG initiative of the federal government actually takes full course. Already, some of these buses have been imported. Some of these conversion kits are already available. The conversion centers are already beginning to get active. The delays are largely because you don't just go to the market and get these things off the shelf. First, the procurement processes have to be followed, and then, of course, you have to place order for them. It is envisaged that as we make this transition from fossil fuel to renewables, there is going to be a reduction of over 60% in the cost that people put in transportation. If you have your car, it is envisaged that you are going to spend about 60% less, and that money now comes back to your pocket. But the emphasis at the beginning is going to be on commercial buses, for mass transit, so that workers especially and those who are moving around will have reduction in the fares that they pay. Now, this in combination with so many other things that government is doing, government is appealing once again to those who have the intention of embarking on this protest to please think about it once again. There is just no need for that. Of course, it is the democratic right of every Nigerian to engage in peaceful protest, and the government is not an opponent to that. But what government is doing is to ensure that while there is this right for you to protest, your right will also end where someone else's own begin. Therefore, while you are thinking of protesting, government is appealing to you first to shelve it, because there's a great likelihood that this protest may be hijacked and may turn violent by unscrupulous elements, and Nigeria will not be good for it. Of course, we know that people are saying that there is no intention for violence in this, but our history has shown that there's the possibility that this protest can be hijacked and could turn violent. Once again, before I open the floor for questions, it is an appeal again that the federal government is making to ensure that as government is making effort to satisfy the demands of Nigerians in several respects, in healthcare, in agriculture, in the provision of infrastructure, in ensuring that our youth, a young population go to school, and that they also get employed when they finish. And even before they do that, the social security system is being put out there so that no one is left behind. So all this coming together, of course, it takes time to for it to come full circle, but there's this plea, please, no need for this protest.
Now, in response to call for nationwide protest, a lawmaker from Kogi State, Leke Abejide, has urged Nigerians to disregard these calls. His remarks came amid growing tensions and public discourse on the protest impact.
I understand the concerns that have led to this call for protest, and indeed share some of these sentiments. I share it. I must firmly oppose such action at this crucial juncture in our nation's journey. I don't know the gain we are going to get from it. You will see, even the little you have, God forbid, if they go out for protests, it's going to lead to chaos. Because you know now there are two sides. Some youth are saying they want, some are not. When the one they say they want comes out, those ones that say they don't want will come out against them. then you and I, we are not going to escape it. We cannot deny that our country faces significant challenges. The cost of living has risen, yes, and many Nigerians are struggling to make ends meet, yes. These are real issues that require our collective attention and effort. However, it is precisely because of these challenges that we must rally behind an administration that has shown remarkable courage and vision in tackling our long-standing problems head-on. Nigerians must know, and especially the youth, that President Ahmed Tinubu's transformative strides are for the betterment of our collective future. He is carefully sowing seeds which will germinate and yield in both the short term and the long term, just as we have annual crops and perennial crops, thus requiring cumulative patience. Imagine a Nigeria where a brilliant student from a humble background in Sokoto can access higher education through the newly enacted Student Loans Act. Picture commuters seamlessly traveling from Port Harcourt to Aba on a modern rail line, while plans for the ambitious Lagos-Calabar superhighway promise to revolutionize transportation across our nation. Envision local governments newly empowered by financial autonomy, directly addressing the needs of their communities without interference. Add to this the game-changing liberalization of power sector through the 2023 electricity bill, paving the way for decentralized electricity generation, transmission, and distribution across the country. You need to ask your governors, what are they doing with this bill to give you electricity in your states? We are all facing the federal government. And this government is not talking, this I can say. They just increased, about some few months ago, electricity bill was increased to 268 per kilowatt. After some time, when there was noise everywhere, this government, be a listening government, reduced it to 68 naira per kilowatt. But people are not aware. Electricity is no longer 206 for band A, is 68 naira per kilowatt. Go and check. These are not distant dreams, but tangible realities and the ongoing projects under President Bola Tinubu's administration. If such transformative changes can be achieved in just over a year in office, then it is clear that Nigeria is on path towards sustainable development, economic growth, and improved quality of life for all citizens.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Betokun, has taken proactive steps to ensure the safety of participants in the upcoming #EndBadGovernance protest. The IGP has directed senior police officers to provide adequate protection following a request from Senior Advocate of Nigeria. On the environmental front, the federal government has once again affirmed its commitment to tackling gas flaring, signaling ongoing efforts to collaborate with stakeholders to address this critical issue.
We all know that gas is the pride of our nation for now. We are all trying to exit from the use of from oil and concentrate more on gas. So we appreciate all the work we are doing. I will pray that the collaboration will continue. Thank you.
Methane emissions pose significant environmental and health risk. Methane is responsible for about 25% of the human-caused global warming we experience today. It is over 80 times more effective at trapping heat in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. Therefore, addressing methane emission is crucial in mitigating climate change and its impact. In the context of Nigeria gas expansion plans, reducing methane emission can offer multiple benefits, such as the environment, mitigating climate change by reducing a potent greenhouse gas. Economic, capturing and utilizing methane can generate additional revenue streams. health and safety, improving air quality and reducing risks associated with methane leaks, and reputation, enhancing Nigeria's reputation as a responsible energy producer, attracting investment and international partnerships.
The transport sector, via CNG, as well as the booking sector, we are LPG. Do we have the requisite infrastructure to help unlock this demand? Do we have the requisite infrastructure to help unlock the supply as well? Are the funds available? And then are we at a risk of over-investing in gas expansion, whereby we have over-invested, but then the world has moved away onto cleaner energy sources, and then we have used our limited economic resources to invest in what we like to call stranded assets. So these are some of the issues that we feel are very, very important, and these are the things we are trying to highlight and mainstream collectively to see what is the way forward for Nigeria, what are the things to consider, are these being considered correctly, and if they are considered, are the public adequately aware of them, such that to interrogate it and also to inform a better approach.
Additionally, civil society organizations and youth groups across Nigeria have voiced strong support for Dr. Mele Kyari, Group Managing Director of NNPC Limited, commending his team for their strides in enhancing transparency and accountability in the sector.
And enthusiastic participation in the conference. This gesture underscores the NNPC's commitment to transparency, accountability, and open dialogue, which are fundamentals to building public trust. I particularly wish to commend Dr. Mele Kyari, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC, for his visionary leadership and dedication since assuming office. His effort to transform NNPC into a more transparent and accountability entity are not only commendable but also essential for the progress and development of our nation.
Executive Officer of NNPC, Dr. Mele Kyari. Since assuming office, Dr. Kyari has demonstrated unveiling commitment to the principles of transparency, accountability, and performance excellence. A blueprint has transformed the NNPC into a beacon of excellence, both at home and abroad. One of Dr. Kyari's notable accomplishments is the significant increase in the nation's crude oil reserves, surpassing the 40,000 billion barrel target through his relentless focus and dedication. This has been achieved through the drilling used wells such as Refineries River 1, 2, and 3. And
finally, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has voiced its opposition to the Senate's proposed bill for a local government independent electoral commission, describing it as ill-conceived.
As the Edo State governorship election approaches, I wish to remind leaders of political parties of your obligation to submit the list of your agents by uploading the required information, including photographs, to the dedicated portal. This requirement is listed as item 9 on the timetable and schedule of activities for the election, released by the Commission nearly a year ago on 26 September 2023. As at yesterday, Saturday, 28 July 2024, 14 political parties have uploaded the details of 38,354 polling agents and 819 collation agents for the Edo State governorship election. 3 parties are yet to upload a single polling agent, while 5 parties have not uploaded a single agent for ward, local government, or state collation centers. The deadline is tomorrow, Tuesday, 30th July 2024, when the portal automatically shuts down at midnight. I urge you to ensure that you meet the deadline so that the Commission can produce the accreditation tags and deliver them to you for distribution to our agents in good.
To restore confidence in the electoral system, INEC should be empowered to conduct all local government elections. Politics is local. Citizens must be encouraged to actively participate in the grassroots politics and contribute in nation building, in building a better society. In this vein, IPAC called for the amendment of the Constitution and the Electoral Act to empower INEC to conduct all local government polls. Council rejects the proposed bill by the Senate to create the so-called Local Government Independent Electoral Commission, bearing in mind that it will be another SIEC in disguise. It is unacceptable, it is ill-conceived, another electoral jamboree that will impede the nation's democracy and waste public funds at a time when citizens demand a smaller government to reduce the cost of governance at all levels. Addressing the Senate and the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Electoral Matters last week, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, said the Commission had the capacity to conduct all local government elections as it did for FCT area councils, generally adjudged to be free, fair, and without rancor. So IPAC supports this and urge the National Assembly to amend the relevant electoral laws to accommodate this. So for the Edo state election, governorship election, the die is cast. There is no substitute to free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive, and peaceful polls. The success of this election, along with Ondo, will go a long way in restoring trust in the democratic process, essential for enduring representative government. Flawed elections that produce incompetent leaders are the remote cause of economic stagnation, political upheavals, socio-economic disharmony in the polity, as the imposed leaders seek personal interest in place of national interest. Once we get our elections right and credible leaders emerge, there will be drastic reduction in elections, petition, and litigation afterwards.
And that wraps up today's edition of Abuja File. Stay tuned for more updates as we continue to keep you informed about the latest developments from the seat of power. Thank you for watching, and remember to follow us on Facebook at MITVNJ. We look forward to bringing you more comprehensive reports. I am Vina Peters. Have a great day.